Commandos and ANSF. ANSF, to me, are as close to an American ODA as you're going to get in Afghanistan as far as Partner Force goes. They got.
Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan and I am a former Royal Marines Commando, and I am going to be reacting to Green Beret 2014. This title's pretty simple, guys, but we all know the gist of it. Green Berets, US Special Forces. So I'm looking forward to this one, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, drop a comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the comments. What's that? D. Oppresslia. This film is dedicated to the men who pay the ultimate sacrifice. Absolutely. Let's get it, guys. This is going to be a good one. So, stay tuned. Get a cup of tea if you're from the UK. Get a Budweiser if you're from the States. Wow, I'm nervous watching this already. Afghanistan.
Hey, watch your shot. What do you got?
Was he just pointing his weapon? That guy's not US military. That guy is Afghan National Police or something. That is, yeah, that's definitely not. These guys surrounded or something? Yeah, this shot's just coming in pretty close. So they're literally shooting just outside the perimeter of where they're at. You've got to understand, the Green Berets are the best in the world at unconventional warfare, i.e. integrating with the locals, becoming one with them, and you know, smashing the mission set. Wow. So they've literally just grenaded the area. They've got guys on a rooftop firing within 20-30 meters probably. Halo inbound. The Last Commando, a modern day Green Beret. Wow. Anything with Commando in the title, I'm liking it, guys.
What makes Green Berets different from the rest of the Special Operations community, my personal opinion, is our adherence to the fact that we're quiet professionals.
Since it's going to be dark when we move into the trees, I want to keep it tight, so that way we're spending as little amount of time as possible. So we get in the trees, we get a good accountability, I make sure they know the building, and then they're going to lead out from there and I'll pick up the rear.
Plus, he's got a beard and shades on. No one's saying nothing to this guy. Hard as nails. The rules with these guys do not... they're not the same as conventional fighting machines, okay? So, Royal Marines, like myself, we had rules that we had to go by, as does every force. But these guys, unconventional warfare guys, understand what that means. Do what you want, when you want, within reason.
The thing that makes the Green Berets different from everybody else in Special Operations is that we're very adaptive. There's no no in our vocabulary. I guess what I would like to say is.
So he's got Commando under his Ranger tab. Can you see that? So you guys have Commandos as well? Or is a Commando effectively just Special Forces, what we would classify as Special Forces? That must be why the Americans love us when we come to the States. Oh, he's a Royal Marine and a Commando?
It's rare that we can fail because we find another way around. Our biggest thing is to try to do everything we can by, with, and through our partner force. We're very well-rounded, making it to where adapting is easy for us because we've done it all.
Determination, I would say. The refusal to quit. I mean, you get that a lot in SOF, but we really try and live by it. You know, and we're a pretty humble group of guys, real tight-knit community. And that's why I don't really like talking us up too much. But yeah, I'd say it's that determination. That's what got me through selection, through the Q course.
The thing is with these guys, all right, they're very humble because they are the best, all right? You normally find with people who want to do it or think they can do it and normally got the biggest mouths, all right? These guys, silent professionals, why? They're at the very top of the food chain in terms of the military, so they don't have to brag about anyone, guys.
Like my dad told me before I was selected, he's like, whatever happens, just don't quit. So, and that's the one thing that got me through. I'm not the big, bulky Navy SEAL dude, or I'm not the biggest guy that can lift the most weight, but I got the same qualities that you'll find in everybody on my ODA.
They don't want the biggest guy, they want the right guy.
Something people don't know about the Green Berets, well, there's quite a bit. One, we get umbrellaed under just the term Special Forces as a whole throughout the community, which Green Berets is a very specific piece within the Special Operations community. We wear a Special Forces tab, but that term is generally used for all elements within U.S. SOCOM. Green Berets specifically are U.S. Army Special Forces. We have 5 major set mission goals.
Right, unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, recon, direct action, and counterterrorism. That's as big boys as it gets.
Which mainly include unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, special reconnaissance, direct action, and counterterrorism operations. We have a multitude of tasks that we take part of, but we are the Department of Defense's lead for unconventional warfare operations.
I would definitely say that our best quality is being adaptive to what the environment gives us.
Right, they're on patrol now. Okay, so kit-wise, they're fully kitted out to the yin-yangs with the best you can probably buy, or best the military budget can buy anywhere.
He's hit. Hey, I got him. You get cover for Jake. Comcam, cover that door.
Going down now. So this is the thing with my understanding of Delta and the Green Berets in Afghanistan. Their mission remit is obviously a lot of direct action. What does that mean to me and you? It means, in the nighttime, swooping in by helo, taking out a target, getting back to base, tea and biscuits, next night do the same thing. But what was happening an awful lot in Afghanistan is they were being overstretched and they were out on the ground maintaining ground space that regular conventional military infanteers normally should have been doing. They were overstretched massively in Afghanistan, but that had a lot to do with whoever was in charge of the administration at the time, guys, okay? But their real remit isn't to be holding ground for long periods of time. That's for regular military groups. So it might seem strange to see these guys out on patrol under these circumstances, but within Afghanistan, at certain points, they were actually doing that quite a lot of the time.
All right. Hey, what kind of blood is it? Is it squirting? Yeah.
Squirting blood equals pulse artery potentially. Yes.
I'd say the Commando mission is it's an ability to affect an area that is hard to reach. The best way that to describe the Commandos is all the other forces can't get there or reach that area. They're able to bring a large force, fly them into deep into enemy territory and affect some of the higher ups and be able to get multiple enemy KI and disrupt a large network.
That was what I was waiting for him to say. Why? Well, Commandos were formed in the 1940s, World War II in Great Britain for that very reason, okay? Short, sharp work, in and out, disrupt, cause mayhem, and get the hell out of there before the enemy even has time to realise what the hell just happened. That's what Commando was all about. Raid-style tactics, guerrilla warfare, get in, get out, and cause absolute carnage. These guys pretty much nailed it on the head there when he said disrupt.
With just one night. So, I mean, to describe them would be effective.
When Special Forces first picked up the Commando mission, really, it first got picked up in 2006 when we realized that throughout our combat FID-focused mission that we're conducting here, we needed deliberate, direct action, dedicated units to support what was growing into the ANA. Started off with the model that was kind of used in Iraq. We're standing up the ICTF and took a contingent of about 70 commandos, which became the Commando Training Cadre, to Jordan with 3rd Special Forces group members and ran them through my rated training there. That group came back in 2006 and started the training up of the first 4 Kandaks that went operational by 2007. And then since then, we're now at 9 Kandaks as a whole under ANASOC.
I hope that the Commandos and the ANA, out of the training that we give them, kind of get that warrior mentality that we try to push on the enemy. We try and push that aggressive level, man. Just that hopefully they see how we act as soldiers or as a team guy, and it kind of motivates them to be aggressive when they need to be, because they're going into harm's way just as much as any other, if not more, than any other ANASF unit. So they're essentially the unit that the government's going to call when a district center is overrun.
So effectively, when shit goes down, they need a group of people. Them are the ones who are going to be in charge of that and getting it done.
There's a bad situation developing in a not so good part of the country. So they need to be prepared for that type of thing. And we hope that during our training, we do prepare them for that, because we're fighting right alongside them. And if we can't depend on the guys that we're fighting with to act like we act, or at least the modicum of how we act.
Sorry guys, I just realised I wasn't
the training's not
on the
really
right
valuable.
screen.
So out of the training aspect of it, we try and make it realistic, because these guys are about to go into harm's way right after that training.
The points of focus that I drive in the training, training the Commandos and the NASF, at the tactical level, the members of my detachment work that level down, I'd say company level down, and they work hard on the tactical side of the house.
This is the thing with training these individuals, guys. It's painstaking, because I've heard a lot of my friends as well who went over there, especially in the heat of action in Afghanistan, and they've said, listen, you can tell them one thing and it goes out the ear pretty much straight away, and that was very frustrating for them to do, especially when they're out on the ground, not listening, not paying attention. It's hard, all right? And the reason it's hard is because they just haven't had the similar background as what these guys have had. They've had a horrendously hard, grueling training, arguably the hardest in the world, and they're trying to relay a little bit of that. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't absorb in the same way.
Basics, being masters of basics like everyone should be who wants to be a high-level operator. Land navigation, day and night, weapon emplacement, marksmanship, close quarters combat. Try to focus centric on the mission that they have at hand, and generally it's half operations to conduct a deliberate clear with the possibility of IEDs, and knowing that we're going to be hit from strong point positions when set up. So defensive perimeters, accountability of personnel, IED detection and mitigation, entering and clearing the room, proper SSE. These are things that we were hit on heavy at the tactical level.
Nice. Okay, it looks like we're getting into some good stuff now. Nighttime raid, potentially.
Status search.
Mission set that we have currently, trying to train them into operating by themselves, is I'd like them to have more capabilities. We had situations where they are very dependent on our airlifts, and they're very dependent on doing certain things certain ways. I'd like them to go back to the basics and understand how to shoot, move, and communicate, and not lock themselves down in one area and hope that the Air Force drops bombs on people. I'd like them to be able to understand how to maneuver again and get after the enemy, as well as branching out and utilizing their armor package and driving places, trying to get inventive with their mission sets so that, they learn.
Think for themselves, can work for themselves, can effectively not rely on anyone. That's easier said than done, especially when working with these forces, or the forces in Afghanistan. We all know how that went down anyway, but it's difficult, guys, all right? It takes years and years and years. Some may say it was actually a waste of time.
And that adaptiveness that we're trying to convey upon them, that, hey, just because you don't have something doesn't mean you can't make it work.
That's very true. Oh man, I missed this. Look at them traces going off in the distance. Okay, so that looks like a training serial of some sort.
Conducting missions with or operations with commandos and ANSF can be pretty interesting at times. So a lot of guys honestly can relate it. It depends on the platoon or the SOC that you're going out with. If you have a bad SOC, or they can say it's the best mission you've been on if you have a good SOC or platoon. It just depends on who you guys work with and the amount of training and effort to build rapport that you put into it yourself. I've had great experience with both Commandos and ANSF. ANSF, to me, are as close to an American ODA as you're going to get in Afghanistan as far as partner force goes. They got diehard, relentless aggression, which is awesome, and the guys take ownership of their work and of the mission. I've been pushed back in the stack by ANSF members, and same thing, Commandos. If you fight valiantly, or if you display to them the courage needed to face the enemy, they'll go with you.
Wow, so that's coming from an SF guy. I have to take his word for that as well, and why not? Okay, these guys have been trained by the best in the United States. I have every faith that they have the ability to be able to translate a little bit of that over and trust these guys. Okay, it's not the same kind of stories that I heard when I was in the Marines. Okay, when our lads were training them in various areas, I think the quality amongst the Afghans, especially within their troops, the skill set is varied massively. The person who's within that skill set, his willingness to fight varies drastically from, Rambo to someone who hasn't got, the moral fiber to do anything. So I think they must be closely selected for this specific job in hand to be trained by these guys, because it can't just be anyone, all right? There's some documentaries out there that show, the opposite of what he's saying, for instance, that they were crap in many areas, but he's saying they were good.
They just need a little bit more encouragement than the ANSF guys, which usually are, in some cases, dragging us to the objective. So
that's what he just said.
Okay.
Second RPG.
Hey, good.
To have the ANSF and the Commandos working together is a lot like trying to have SF work with a Ranger Battalion. The Ranger Battalion is great at what they do, and they are very regimented, and they have I would say a straight line kind of mentality. And
Thing is, with that straight line mentality, it works for that remit, but the SF guys are good at what they do simply because they have an open parameter and they're basically given the freedom to be able to move within that parameter how they wish, whereas the Rangers probably won't have as much freedom to run through that parameter like the SF guys. So, you know, what happens is in that situation is you have guys who are able to make decisions but are not necessarily able to think for themselves as much as the SF guys. The SF guys can pretty much, you know, think for themselves through and through, make decisions for themselves through and through, and come up with stuff on the ground, all right? So, yeah, what happens in that case, if you had Rangers working with these Green Berets, then you're obviously going to have to not mollycoddle them as such, because the Rangers are fantastic at what they do, but because they've been so used to being told what to do, how to do it within a certain parameter, it's going to be a little bit different listening to these guys who have ultimately a lot of freedom.
And we try to work outside the box, and like I said, if something comes up, we try to adapt to it and work around. So I believe the ANSF are kind of the same in that part goes. So to have them underneath the Commando's command, it makes it to where they have issues as far as like you have anytime you have special operations working together. I think it can be great potential though, because in previous missions that we've done since we've been here, we've had ANSF and Commandos mixed into the same unit, part of it. So like our support element, we had ANSF and Commandos with each other. The Commandos seemed to feed off of the ANSF energy and move out a lot better, and they wanted to go out and fight and do other stuff. But to have that capability to work together, they really have to work through a lot of egos, which I think is just like any special operations community.
I think not just any special operations community, any community in the military period, guys, all right? Ego is something that can get in the way. Why? In some cases, it can be good. You've got the Marines and Paras. Yes, we're egotistical because we think we're the best, everything else. But when it comes to doing stuff together on the ground, it's about, you know, doing what you can do very well, all right? Doing the basics well, not having to worry about too much about what they're doing and trying to make them look at you, so to speak. So ego aside, I think if you're getting selected to do this type of stuff, you're not really thinking about it in the first place. You just want to perform as best as you can. The equivalent that we got that he's just mentioned there is Special Forces Support Group, where the Paras and Marines actually work together in every operation that they conduct together. So yeah, it proves that it does work, but I can imagine if egos were high, they wouldn't be able to work nowhere nearly as good as they could, all right? So I understand what he means by that, guys. We're about 20 minutes in. I think we're going to split this video up into a few parts. Original link will be in the description as always, guys. If you like my take on it and my commentary, please drop a comment below for the algorithm. Like, share, subscribe the video, share it far and wide if you can, guys, on different social platforms. And if you want to support me even more, then please consider becoming a member. Just press the join button or become a Patreon member below, guys, okay? But wherever you are, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.